Thank you again for tuning in to the Okinawa Karate Podcast. I'm Josh Simmers, coming to you from the birthplace of karate, Okinawa, Japan. Today I have the luxury of sitting in the world-famous Asato Dojo. Thank you, Mr. James Pankiewicz, for letting me use your dojo for this next interview. And I think most people probably know the person sitting to my left. Second time interviewing the karate nerd, Mr. Jesse Enkamp. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, my absolute pleasure.
I appreciate it. So Happy New Year.
Oh, same to you.
Thank you very much. So what brings you to Okinawa this time?
Well, this time I stopped by this wonderful island for another experience, and this time it's the Karate Nerd experience. More specifically, my annual seminar that I organize once a year only, and every time in a new country. So last year was USA, before that was the UK, before that was Germany. And this seminar is unlike any other seminar I do because it's the only one that I actually organize myself. Because usually somebody will invite me or host me in their country, right?
Yes.
But once a year, I do my own seminar, which is a bit different than most other seminars. For example, we wear the pink belts, right?
Yeah.
And we have secret lessons and cultural activities and everything from learning calligraphy to Zen meditation with real monks and ballet and you name it.
Yeah.
All kinds of, different experiences. That's what we call it, the Karate Nerd experience, right? It's not just about the training, but also about the surrounding stuff that makes you a more complete martial artist. So for the first time ever now, I actually organized it at the birthplace of karate, and that is why I've been here now the past month.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you here. I was just actually training today
Yeah.
with some of the karate nerds that finished the seminar, and
Yeah.
I've heard great things. Curious to know what made you decide to come to Okinawa this time versus another one of the countries in Europe or South America or.
Yeah, well, now I've been here 15 times or so, and I feel like there is so much here to learn for other people as well. And I've tried to share those things and transmit those, words of wisdom through my videos and blogs and books and everything, but somehow it's, words are not enough. You have to be here and experience, this whole society and culture and the people and the traditions yourself if you want to truly sort of embrace and embody this karate nerd spirit that I try to, help people find.
Yeah.
So that is why I wanted to actually host a seminar here as well, open to people. This time we had attendees from over 25 different countries flying in just for this event.
25 different countries.
Yeah.
I'm sure you asked, but do you recall how many, for those 25 different countries that represented, how many of those people came here for the first time to Okinawa?
I would say roughly, that's roughly.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
those people may not have ever visited
No.
Okinawa.
Yeah.
If it weren't for your program.
And just today somebody said that, I would probably never have, come to Okinawa if it wasn't for the fact that you provided this opportunity, this vehicle for me, to finally make this happen.
Yeah. All these people around the world that train in karate, some form of it.
Yes.
But would have perhaps never came to the birthplace.
Right. And I'm not saying you have to come here, but for me and for everyone else who view karate from a 360-degree perspective, I believe it's important to understand that no matter what you do, no matter what style, type, or kind of karate you practice, we all have one thing in common: our roots. Even if you don't practice Okinawan karate, maybe your sensei did. And even if he didn't or she didn't do it, then his or her sensei did, or his or her, or his or, and so on.
Yeah.
Because this is the source.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't even use the term Okinawan karate, because to people here, this is karate.
Yeah.
Everything else is, not karate.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you say Okinawan karate to a person or a teacher here in Okinawa, they sort of look at you sideways because this is karate, nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. Being from the States, that term is used generically.
Yeah.
Karate. It means anything and everything.
It means
good, bad, or indifferent.
Everything from hapkido to tangsodo to kickboxing, whatever. Everything is karate these days. It's funny.
Yep. But so you had brought in, if you can, I know you have videos that we can all watch in the future when they're finished, and they'll be posted online, or people can purchase videos. Can you just give us a quick insight of the senseis that taught this year?
Yeah. So this year, as every year, I try to expose people to senseis from different styles who teach different types of karate, whether it's modern or traditional. old or new, sports or street fighting, self-defense. It doesn't matter. As a karate nerd, you should strive to learn something from everyone, right? So this year, for example, I wanted to expose people to 3 major Okinawan styles because it's in Okinawa after all. So we had Yoshio Kuba, Goju-ryu. We had Kanji Uechi, 4th generation of the straight bloodline of the Uechi-ryu style. And then we had Secret Sensei Yoshida Naotsugu, who's a praying mantis kung fu expert. And we had my brother Oliver teaching MMA for karate. We had me teaching Kobudo. And last but not least, Sensei Nakasone Koichi teaching full contact, bare knuckle, no nonsense, street fighting, shuri-te karate. And yeah, that's it.
What was the feedback you got already from the people that attended the seminar with that selection of senseis? Were they surprised, or were they, you know, is it what they expected? Did you get any type of feedback already?
Well, the thing is, at this seminar and with a lot of my work, you never know what to expect. You know, I always try to play on the element of surprise because that builds anticipation, which then makes people excited and all of that. So they didn't really know exactly what they were gonna do, right? Yeah. So basically they trust me as the host and organizer to provide them with a good experience, which is the way I like to have it, right? Yeah. So hopefully, you know, what I want people to get out of this, and what I actually always get out of this event specifically, is that everything is connected. You know, the cosmetic appearance of a specific style might look wildly different from another style. But under the surface, the underlying principles are always the same because the human body is the human body. You know, an arm is an arm is an arm. It only bends, you know, a certain range, right? And then it breaks. And you can only break it so many ways before you call it a new style, right? So hopefully people can, you know, not get, what's the saying? Like you can see the forest for the trees or something like that.
Trees,
right. So I want people to kind of go into the forest and examine the trees. The trees that I point out to them, right, and provide them with through this event or this experience, so that when they step out of the forest, they can see it in a new light.
You know, something I had heard from the people that attended, we had a conversation about the belts, the pink obi. And I saw a post that you put online. It was kind of funny. You had put on Instagram, only 2 people have ever denied to wear it. One, we all know, Master Ken, because he said it was bullshit. Right? Another person that refused for whatever reason, and then you politely refunded the money. But I had heard someone say the beauty of those pink obis is that there was, I think someone maybe 5th Q in the seminar. All the way up to maybe 5th Dan.
Nobody knows.
But there's
nobody cares. Here we're all equal, right? I remember the very first KNX I did, I never told anyone that they were gonna wear the same belts, right? So they expected to come in Germany, right? I'm not from Germany, but that's where I organized the first one. People come there, again, from over 25 different countries. Nobody knows what to expect. What do they get in their goodie bag? A pink belt. I can't imagine what they thought that night when they looked into their goodie bag. And they went to bed thinking, am I gonna wear this tomorrow? Because I hadn't explained anything. And then of course I told them that, you know, during my research, I came up with a list of maybe 16 secret ingredients that the perfect karate seminar needs to have, because everything I do is backed up by my own research beforehand, right? Everything I do is calculated. And so there's a reason for this pink belt, right? Because a white belt doesn't always want to practice with a black belt. And a black belt doesn't always want to practice with a white belt. So imagine if everyone wears the same belt and nobody knows the true rank of anyone else. And suddenly the ego and insecurity that we tend to attach to our belts melts away and magic happens. And now, obviously, a lot of people say, well, why did you choose pink? Because you don't have any associated experiences or memories in karate with this color, right? If I told you to wear pink, that's not my job. Your sensei should degrade you, not me. And if I can't tell you to wear black if you're not a black belt, right? I'm not qualified to give you a black belt. I had to pick a totally different color. So pink was the result, but of course I didn't call it pink. It's momoiro, peach blossom color. So you sound kind of badass like a samurai,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sakura, you know, the peach blossom trees or whatever. But of course, it's just pink, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
I didn't know
punchline.
that. I didn't realize that you did that from the first KNX.
Yes.
Ah,
So
okay.
that's when people actually started knowing about it. But
Yeah.
before that, nobody knew about it. And now people expect it, right? So it's not exactly the same thing, but it's still always at KNX, you're going to wear the pink belt.
You know what's interesting? When we were doing the seminars here,
Yeah.
after your KNX was finished,
Yeah.
the people were still wearing the pink belt.
I know.
A few
Yeah.
people wore a white belt. A
Right.
few people wore their black belt.
Yeah.
Most people still wore the pink belt.
I
And
think-
I have no idea what
No.
grade they
Right.
were.
Exactly.
But I was like, okay, because it's customary in Okinawa, and you did this when you were here in August, and you filmed the Okinawa Karate Nerd in Okinawa project. You wore a white obi many times, and I think I saw at least one person ask you online on Instagram or Facebook or something, why do you have a white obi? And what's if you could explain to somebody, well, just explain it. I'll ask you, why do you wear a white obi sometimes when you visit dojos?
Well, it's a case-by-case thing, right? So if I'm in my dojo, I'm teaching, of course I'm gonna wear my black belt because that's where it belongs. If I go to learn Matsubaya Shiryu from Aragaki Sensei, I'm there to learn. Sure, I'm a black belt in my school. I'm not in my school anymore. And I'm not there to prove how good I am at my own stuff. I'm there to learn something completely new. And that's Shoshin, the beginner's mind, right? Because in the beginner's mind, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
In the expert's mind, the possibilities are few. That's a common saying, right, from Zen Buddhism. And the white belt, that's what it represents, right? That you're ready to learn. You're a beginner, and I'm here just to teach me. Onegai shimasu. That's the Japanese concept, right? That's why I'm here. And that's why whenever I go to a new place where I want to make sure that people understand that I am a student here, I don't pretend that I know anything about what you do or how you do it. Then just to make that statement, I always wear a white belt because honestly, I couldn't care less what belt I'm wearing, but to other people, it seems to matter a lot.
Yeah. If people get hung up on it, but I appreciate that, and thank you for the explanation, because I think sometimes when people see that, they look at it very, very strange. Why is this person trying to lie about who they really are? Or
Right.
No. It's at least on Okinawa, I will say
Right.
that's not the case.
Sure.
Other places, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I've seen people when they've come to our dojo, our sensei will tell them usually, wear
Yes.
whatever you want. You want to
Yes.
wear white? Wear it. If you're a black belt, wear it. Whatever,
Right.
it doesn't matter. Up to
Right.
them. But it takes off some of the pressure, I think,
Yeah.
also for that person.
Exactly, sure. And you know what's funny, when people sometimes come to my dojo, because I have guests stopping by in Sweden where my dojo is, and they will wear their black belt, and sometimes they will even line up next to the other black belts at my dojo. Well, then I will expect of you to perform as well as the other black belts in my dojo. When we do the kata or the kumite or the specific techniques that my students have been practicing for a decade, and you're not following along, then why are you even pretending to, like you know that? Why are you wearing that black belt? Because you're not in your school anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna tell you to wear a white belt. It should come from you. I never force anyone to do anything. I will only lead by example, and then it's your choice whether to do the same or do it your way. That's all I can do.
Yep. Very good. Very good. I would like to ask you if we can go back in time a little bit.
Let's do it.
A few months back to August.
Yeah.
You were here during the. Let me make sure I get it right because I still mess this up. The first Okinawa Karate International Tournament.
Something like
Is
that.
that right? Not World Tournament, something like that.
Right. I call it the unofficial world tournament traditional style, right?
Yes.
Because it's
that's
not
right.
the sports karate world tournament.
Yeah.
It's a traditional one.
In speaking of that, the reason it was called a good way to say the traditional or the Okinawa International is because we had Shurite, which was Shurite Tamarite, to cover the Shoden Ryu people. We had Nahate for the Goju Ryu, and then we had Uechi Ryu, right?
And Kobudo.
And then Kobudo, so you could be any of those Ryus
Yeah.
and compete in Kobudo. They
Right.
didn't separate there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that. I think now everyone knows what you competed in, but if not, you you should go back and watch the Okinawa Karate
Right.
Nerd visits Okinawa. Yeah. But something pretty amazing happened before your last match.
Right.
I'll ask you if you can relive that, whether you want to or not. But can you tell us? You
Right.
did talk about it a little bit there, but I'd like to.
Well, I just want to make sure you're referencing my bow, right?
Yeah.
So I came here for the World Championships, right, in Kobudo. We filmed a lot of episodes for my YouTube web show. And then I won the qualifications. I won the next round and the next round, and I get to the finals, right? And so I'm warming up on the third floor of the Budokan, the Prefectural Hall of Martial Arts, where the event is happening, right? And like, seriously, 20 minutes before I'm about to go on the mat, my bow breaks. Why? Because I hit it against my own ribs. My ribs didn't snap, the bow did, right? Maybe because of the climate, because it's from Sweden, right?
Okay.
It's not used to this type of humidity. I don't know. I'm not an expert at wood, right? I just do the moves and hope the bow doesn't break. It did. So 20 minutes before the finals, my bow is in 2 pieces, right? I run around like a chicken without a head, trying to find a new bow to borrow from somebody. And you know what's amazing? My opponent for the finals actually said, you can use mine after I'm done with my kata.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Right. And I was like,
Kinjo-san.
yes. I was like, well, I could, but you know, I had the devil on one shoulder that was telling me he's not gonna give me his bow. I'm gonna get disqualified. He will win. He doesn't have to give me his bow.
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
gonna be there looking like a fool without a bow, and they hand him the flags, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take that chance. He's a good guy. I met him,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But you never know, right?
Yeah.
So on the other hand, I have the angel, right? You know, telling me to go get a bow,
Yeah.
okay? Because you can do this. So another guy comes over, and he's also very famous, Mitsutada Iha Sensei.
Ah, yes.
And one of his students was competing in the junior division, and he was already finished. So he said, you can use this bow. So I used that bow, which was, it was already approved for competition. It was an adult bow, even though this junior was using it. It was not a kiddie bow or anything, right? It was approved to use. So you had to recheck it to make sure I wasn't cheating, right? And then I went up and did my best with that bow. And the result was, of course, that I'm vice champion, not champion. But I was still satisfied with my performance, considering the circumstances and, that I had to change to a completely different bow, different density, different thickness, all of that. But I adapted, and I can't complain.
So if we can explain, you have to have a bow that meets a certain length and weight.
Right.
So Jesse Sensei's bow, which was, you made it.
Yeah,
We can call it homemade.
Yeah.
Met the specifications of 900 grams.
Right. Yeah.
900 grams, standard 6-foot bow.
Yeah.
But you had to borrow someone else's, which was a Sharado bow, right? Very good weapon.
Sure.
I mean, but it's not your weapon.
It's not the same. Right.
And it may have been 901 or 902 or whatever.
Right.
And that is not going to mean a lot to someone like me, right?
Right.
But someone at your caliber or competing in the finals there, that does mean a lot.
Right. Yeah.
In the mental game of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because I was sitting up in the stands with Evan, our mutual friend, and my daughters and his daughters, and we saw you walk out.
Yeah.
Holding not one piece of wood but 2.
Right.
And I said, "Holy crap! I think he broke his bow."
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what happened. So.
Yeah.
And the interview afterwards, you took it like a champion. I said, not making any excuses.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you honestly, did it play a mental game on you?
No, you know
having
what?
another bow?
I was mostly disappointed because here's the thing: if I hadn't broken my bow, I would have done a different kata. I would have done a riskier kata, a more advanced kata, because I'm familiar with the weight distribution and the quality of movement that I can produce with my own bow.
Yeah.
But with this standard cookie cutter, straight from a factory bow that I got now, I didn't know exactly how it would behave in my hands because I didn't have time to practice with it. So I fell back to a more basic kata that was harder to mess up on, but at the same time, it wasn't as advanced or impressive as the kata that I would like to have done. So I had to make that decision. And I don't regret that. It is what it is.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, watching both yourself and Kinjo-san, beautiful kata. It was not unanimous.
No.
You did get, I think,
they get
one
one
or two.
flag.
Yeah. So, home turf is tough to beat, right? But it was a great performance. I'm very happy that you still went through. Most thank you as a fan.
Me too.
It was great. But
Thanks.
I wanted to get your feedback on the tournament.
Yeah.
You are no rookie to tournaments,
but
this was the first international one, I guess they want to call it, here in Okinawa. Feedback, pros and cons, and just open comments.
Well, I think it was a very good arrangement. And, you know, I was recently in Tokyo competing at the Premier League, the highest level of the World Karate Federation, the Olympic qualification tournaments. And it was very similar.
Okay.
Everything was on time, you know, the professional people, like the Japanese always are, they're good at organizing things. So I gotta say that they did a good job, and I have nothing, you know, pros and cons. I can't really find any cons.
Okay.
I think it was just what I expected, professionalism and everything on time.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So you'd come back and do it again.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah. But I don't want to do Bo again. You know?
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Next, maybe I would do Sai.
Yeah.
Or maybe, here's a fun thing I was thinking. Instead of Koburo, I would actually try to learn Uechiryu, the style of Uechiryu, which I've only dabbled in, right? I have some experience. I've done it here and there at seminars and so, you know, stuff like that. So what I would do is I would find a teacher, dedicate myself for 30 days, 1 month, learning 2, 3, 4 kata, however many I need, and then I would do my best and see how far that would get me at the World Traditional Championships.
You heard it here first. Is this the first time you said this?
This is the first time I mentioned it.
You heard it here first. He's coming back.
Like a challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be one heck of a challenge.
Yeah. And then we'd see how far that would take me.
Yeah, and we'd love to see that. I hope that works out. We'd love to see that. Yeah, I'm curious to know when they do the next tournament. So they did Bo and they did Sai.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's been determined. I'm sure there's been talk of it. Are they gonna introduce Tunfa next time or something? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I just can't see it staying only with Bo and Sai.
Yeah.
Tunfa's a pretty valuable weapon.
Right.
Nunchaku.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Kama, there's so many weapons, right?
Yeah. Maybe they'll open it up to more, but we'll see. There's been quite a bit of talk, and I've actually heard a handful of complaints after the tournament.
Really?
Just my sensei tell me what people have said, and there's always gonna be people complaining, right?
Yeah.
But my personal opinion, like you said, everything was on time. You know, I think it ran quite well, and I think they're gonna make it even better the next time around.
Hopefully.
At least I hope.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Always improve.
Yep. Like to also go back to August if we can. When I interviewed you the first time, I had posted out on Facebook for people to throw questions my way.
Yeah.
That I could ask you. I didn't do it this time because I just didn't.
Yeah.
But I do want to go back to one of the questions that I had asked. A woman had posted in Karate Fit about one of her students that can't do push-ups.
Yeah.
Because of wrist pain.
Yeah.
And you had said at that time, the woman asked basically, what can this student do? I don't want them to miss out on the benefit of the questions, and you had mentioned maybe doing push-ups against the wall.
Right.
And it's important to have, I think you said, progression and regression.
Right.
And I did not do this person justice with following up for a better explanation, so I understand it, so maybe they understand it, about what is progression, what is regression, and why are they important.
Right.
And I know that can probably go into a very long, detailed answer.
Well, let me try to keep it simple. So we have 3 different zones of practice. We have the comfort zone, where nothing ever grows, okay? Which is where many people find themselves quite often. We have the challenge zone, that's where you're, challenged up to your limits, but not too much, because then you end up in the danger zone, and that's where you get overtrained, injured, sick, burnt out, all of that stuff, right? So you want to kind of find the sweet spot, find the balance. And the way that you go between these zones is either you progress an exercise or you regress it until you find the sweet spot. And the way to find the sweet spot is to assess before you do an exercise. You do the exercise and then you reassess. Did this get me closer to my goal or my intended target, or did it take me further away, right? Or was there no change at all? If not, you switch, or you do a different exercise, or you step up the intensity, or you lower it. It's all about adapting and adjusting according to your needs, because everyone are different. Which is, of course, a funny thing, because old school karate was very individual, right?
Yeah.
It was a highly personal journey and practice. And a sensei would pick a specific kata that you should do, for example, or a way that you should punch, or do something else, right?
Yep.
But then when it got modernized, everyone started doing the same thing, because 5,000 people standing in a soccer field needs to see from over there what to do, right?
Yeah.
Because the masses started practicing, and it became more like calisthenics and self-perfection rather than self-protection, right?
Yeah.
So I believe that this way, or this method of individually adjusting the practice and adapting based on your needs individually is more aligned with the old school mentality of karate as a whole.
It's a very interesting way. I had asked you a question about doing push-ups.
Yeah.
And I came back to kata. I like that.
Always.
Okay, well let's keep going with that then. How does Jesse Enkamp go about his personal training so it's not looking like everyone else in the dojo, especially when you are competing at the world level that you're competing? How do you find it, I guess, in yourself? Because I have to believe that someone with your skill set and your caliber, there's different ways you could do things. But you have to fit a mold to a certain point within the world competition.
Sure.
How do you go about that, trying to do your own practice and keep your own interest and not get burnt out, I guess,
Right.
and focusing only on the tournament kata, but still keeping the mindset of self-defense?
Yeah. And, to me, this is one of the many reasons I like to call myself a karate nerd, because I like to do it all. And I like to learn from all of the different methods. But if I have a specific goal in mind, let's say I'm competing at the European Championships for the national team, then obviously I will focus on that specific goal, and whatever outcome I'm seeking, I will try to tailor my training around that for this specific process, right? So sure, when I'm in Okinawa, I will practice dirty boxing and joint locks and chokes and takedowns and those kinds of nasty self-defense techniques, because that is why I'm here, right? To learn the old methods. But then again, I don't see it as a paradox that next week I will be at the national team training camp in freaking Finland, training with the national coach, who was one of the highest ranked, Olympic athletes in Europe, learning how to fine-tune a few degrees of my hip rotation, which has absolutely no correlation with, the stuff I'm doing here in Okinawa right now. But that's why I enjoy it and why I am always motivated, because if I get tired of doing my kobudo, I will go to the makiwara. If I get tired of that, I will go to the groundwork. If I get tired of that, I will go to the competition stuff. Which is why I believe that everyone should be a karate nerd. You should be nerdy and passionate about something to such a degree that you don't care what other people call it. You just want to learn more of it.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep on keeping on with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So next week you're going to be in Finland, you said.
Yeah.
Working with the national team.
Yeah.
Because the ultimate goal
Right.
is to get to the Olympics.
One of many goals.
One of many goals.
But I'm kind of weird with goal setting. I have things I would like to do, right? Yeah. But if I do them or not, I feel is not always up to me, right? I will only focus on what I can do to the best of my ability with what I have here and now. Then whether that takes me to a specific goal or not, I see as something perhaps separate. I only focus on the journey or the process of what I can control. And then if the stars align and if the universe wants, then that will take me wherever I need to go, right? Maybe that is the Olympics. Maybe I can be there one day, or maybe it is not meant for me. But all I can do is try my best. That's the way I see it. So to say that Olympics is a goal, sure, but there is another Olympics after that, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm gonna go jump off a cliff if I fail this, grandiose goal or anything like that. I just want to get that across, because I see especially a lot of athletes get hung up on external motivation when they should be thinking maybe more about internal motivation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. I think that being the karate nerd that you are is what, looking at, you know, from the outside, right, an outside view, being the karate nerd that you are is what helps with that, keeping you on track, versus being a professional swimmer.
Right.
You know, because how many swimming nerds are there out there, right? So many different strokes you can
Yeah.
study, but I guess that's what keeps you on track there, so.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to not be a karate nerd because karate is so, you know, diverse and big and vast. And
Yeah.
if you just look outside of your own limitations of the specific way of karate that you've been taught, then there is an endless amount of material to uncover and unfold through your own journey that you can learn and
Right.
keep learning forever. You know, Kyu Do Mugen is a common saying in karate. The way, the path of karate is endless. There is no stopping.
Very true. Hard to comprehend sometimes, especially when you look at someone of your skill set. But yeah, I appreciate that. Person I'd like to talk about next, if we can, is your mother.
Sure.
She's here on this trip. I had the pleasure to meet her.
All right.
I told you this, and I told her one of my favorite videos that you posted was when you followed her around the dojo for her birthday. You know,
Right.
Seeing her clean up the dojo and everything all day.
Right.
So, how, from your perspective, how has this been this time on
Yeah.
Okinawa with your mom as part of the KNX versus just coming here years ago as a boy training? Was
Yeah,
it
well,
a different feeling for you?
Yeah, because, you know, KNX is an event that I organize and something that I'm obviously proud of doing because all the work that I do is personal. Because I see myself as an artist, and artists always take it personally because it's from the heart. And I always invite my family to the KNX, Karate Nerd Experience, no matter where it is in the world. And so, of course, Okinawa was no different. My brother and my mom came with me, as did my girlfriend Louise, who was filming, as she always does. And she's right behind the camera over there, training while we're sitting here talking. You know, it was a great experience. My brother hadn't been here in a decade, actually.
Oh.
Last time we came here together was 10 years ago, but I came here, I believe, 2 years ago or 3 years ago with my mom. And sure, this time it was a little bit more busy because we had a schedule to follow, a timetable for the event.
Yeah.
Usually we just do whatever we like,
Yeah.
you know, during the days because it's, you know, it's not really a vacation, it's like a training trip when we come here. We can't go on vacations, right? As a family, we go training. That's what we do. What country we would like to go to see some stuff but also train? That's usually the question.
Just checking
So-
the mic there.
No, but I think it was a great experience overall.
Good.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I heard good things about your mom too.
Yeah, great.
From one of the other senseis, Yoshida Sensei.
Okay.
Was quite impressed. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what training you were doing.
Yeah.
But something impressed him.
Right,
And I
right.
think that's awesome. I had mentioned to her earlier today when your brother was here training. I think she's done an amazing job with her sons.
Yeah.
Obviously, the caliber of person that you are and your brother. Someone to be a professional MMA fighter and the professional karate nerd
Right.
can't come easy, but I think
Yeah.
too much of that goes unnoticed
Right.
with
right,
parents
yeah.
in general, but especially with your mom. So I think that's really cool. Did she come to all the KNXs?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Ah.
No, not actually the very first.
Ah.
Because in the very first KNX, I didn't want any distractions, right?
Okay.
So it was the first time I did it. I didn't know if it was gonna work out or not.
Yeah.
You know, so all I had was my friend Matthias, who was the local organizer, who has ever since then also joined me at every KNX.
Okay.
Yeah, and now he's the photographer.
Yes.
In Germany.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And has done some work for, I think, CFA and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. I want to wrap this up with a couple questions here
Yeah.
for you. Some funny or not funny or a bow or staff. What's the proper term for Jesse Enkamp?
Both are the same. Staff is English, bow is Japanese, and kon is Okinawan.
Okay.
Pick your poison.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I hear the word staff, I have to look behind me because I think my sensei from America is coming to beat me. Os or no os?
I say, whatever your sensei says, say that.
Okay.
Because ultimately it's about respect, right?
Yeah.
However, a lot of people use the term os without even knowing what it means. They just, monkey see, monkey do. Somebody says that, you start copying it, then the os parade is down the street, right?
Yeah.
So usually you want to know what you're saying before you start screaming it everywhere, every place you go, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm in a Kyokushin dojo, where the term os means to push, just like you go to a shopping mall and you open or push the door, it will say os in the kanji, the Japanese character. It's the same os that they use in Kyokushin karate to push through the pain of training, right? Pain is mandatory, suffering is optional, right?
Yeah.
You gotta push through to get out to the other side and grow and overcome your own limitations, right? So if I'm doing Kyokushin, I'm gonna say os if everyone else keeps saying that in this dojo, because I wanna be respectful of their culture. But when I go to Nakamoto Masahiro Sensei at the Bumbukan, I wouldn't dare say os to him, because that would be completely wrong. It's all about understanding the context, right?
Okay.
The cultural context
Yeah.
especially. Now there are other explanations for what os might mean. If I'm jogging at 6:30 a.m. at the Onoyama Park, and an old man goes os in the morning, probably he means Ohayo gozaimasu. A short abbreviation, short form of good morning. I'm gonna say os back. Not because I want him to push through, and punch bricks, but because I want to say good morning.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when I go to train with the Sakamoto Sensei students, the national team people, when we bow, we go os. But in this case, it means onegai shimasu. Let's train together, please teach me. And it's also a short form of that.
Yeah.
3 different explanations to the exact same term. Again, pick your poison.
Yeah.
Just make sure you know what it means and when to use it.
Fantastic. You know why I asked you that?
Right, why?
Because here on Okinawa, some people want to behead you for saying it.
Really?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, I did not think I would ever hear it when
Yeah.
I was here in
Yeah.
Okinawa. My sensei says it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
All the time. You walk in the dojo, os.
Yeah.
In kata or
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you understand what I'm saying? Os,
Yes,
everything. But
yes.
some people get pretty bent out of shape on that.
Right.
Who wins in a fight, you or your brother?
Me.
Okay.
Next question. Haven't you seen?
I did, but you cut it stopped filming.
I took the nunchucks. You can imagine the rest.
Who wins in a fight, you or Master Ken?
We already had a fight too.
I didn't see that.
It's already on YouTube.
I didn't see this
it's
Master Ken fight.
Just check it out. It's called How to Defeat Master Ken. It's right there.
I apologize. I did
Yeah.
not see the fight
Yeah.
with you and Master
Yeah,
Ken. I imagine there's a groin stomp or two in there. But,
Yeah.
okay. Well, who wins in a fight, you and your mom? You or your mom?
Oh, she, of course.
Of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right.
I'm giving up before the fight even
There
starts.
you go. Jesse Sensei, that's all I've got. I know you've got a tight schedule because tonight's your last night in Okinawa.
Yes.
You're heading home
Early tomorrow morning.
early tomorrow morning. You have a dojo to open, and
Yes.
I heard a move is coming up as well for the dojo. Did your
Yeah,
mom say?
exactly.
So everyone should, I guess, if there's a grand opening, go to Sweden
Yeah, definitely.
and see that. And the next KNX
Yeah.
is when and where?
July, Stockholm, Sweden. And if you're watching this, you're very welcome, as long as you're 18 plus, speak English, and you have to be a karate nerd.
And it sells out fast.
24 hours usually.
Yeah. So jump on it. I live in Okinawa, and this one sold out before I knew about it. So pay attention. But Sensei,
Yes.
I really appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for taking
It was
the time
my
to come down
absolute
here
pleasure.
again.
And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Train hard,
Karate
good luck,
Podcast.
and have
Check it
fun,
out.
like I usually say in my videos.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.